Hi friend, have you ever wondered why walking away often feels more powerful than chasing? Why silence sometimes speaks louder than words? Why distance when chosen with dignity carries more weight than desperate presence? The answer lies not only in psychology, but in philosophy, specifically in Stoicism. The Stoics, Marcus Aurelius Seneca, Epictetus, taught us that true power lies not in controlling others but in mastering ourselves. They believed that we cannot dictate the emotions, thoughts, or actions of another person, but we can always control how we show up, how we carry ourselves, and how we choose to act in the face of loss or rejection. When you walk away from a woman, with dignity, with inner strength, and without bitterness, you are practicing one of the highest Stoic virtues, detachment from what you cannot control. And here's the fascinating truth. Walking away does not make you weaker. It often makes you stronger. And paradoxically, it often makes her feel things she didn't expect. Today, we will explore 9 things a woman feels when you walk away, through the lens of Stoicism, psychology, and real-life wisdom. After each point, I will also give you practical advice so you can apply these Stoic lessons in your relationships and in your life. So let us begin. She feels the weight of your absence, Marcus Aurelius. Once wrote in Meditations, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This was a reminder of the fragility of presence, how we often take things for granted until they are gone. When you walk away, she feels your absence in a way she never did when you were constantly available. This absence is not just physical, it is emotional. She realizes that the attention, validation, and presence she once received is no longer guaranteed. Practical application. Practice controlled absence. Don't give all of yourself at once. Value your time and energy. If you walk away, do it with silence and dignity, not with anger or drama. It is absence that teaches people the true value of presence. When you step away from someone's life, especially a woman who has grown used to your presence, you leave behind more than empty space. You leave behind silence, contrast, and an invisible echo that she cannot easily ignore. The Stoics often reminded us of the fragility of life and presence. Marcus Aurelius in Meditations wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." Though Marcus was contemplating mortality, the principle applies here. The value of something is often not recognized until it is gone. The power of contrast. When you were present, your calls, texts, laughter, and attention may have seemed ordinary. But once you step back, the sudden lack of that familiarity creates contrast. Human psychology is wired to notice change. Silence after constant noise feels louder. Darkness after light feels deeper. And absence after presence feels heavier. Stoic connection. The Stoics teach us not to cling to what is outside our control. If someone does not value your presence, your duty is not to force them, but to step back. That absence itself becomes the teacher. Modern example. Think about how we miss electricity only when the lights go out, or how we suddenly miss the warmth of summer once winter arrives. In the same way, your absence teaches her to value what she overlooked when you were there. Practical advice: do not fear being absent. Instead, learn to use absence with dignity. If you feel taken for granted, step away. Not out of anger, but out of respect for yourself. Emotional dependence. Revealed presence builds habit. Habits create reliance. When you are suddenly gone, she may feel a sense of emptiness, not because you were perfect, but because you became part of her emotional rhythm. Epictetus reminds us, it is not things that disturb us, but our judgments about them. Your absence forces her to confront her judgments. She may realize that she depended on you more than she admitted. The routine of your presence, texts, calls, laughter, suddenly becomes something she can't replace easily. Modern example. Think of someone who drinks coffee every morning. The day they skip it, they feel the lack not because coffee is essential to survival, but because it became part of their life. Your presence works the same way. Practical advice: never be afraid to remove yourself from spaces where you are undervalued. The right people will feel your absence, and that weight will awaken them to your true worth. Absence highlights your uniqueness. Seneca once said, Nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart. Often, people are ungrateful for what they have until it's gone. In your presence, she may have compared you to others, finding flaws, picking apart imperfections. But your absence highlights what only you brought into her life. No one else speaks exactly like you. No one else laughs exactly like you. No one else gives the same kind of presence. Modern example. Think of when a favorite song disappears from your playlist. Only then do you realize how unique its sound was. Others might play music, but it doesn't fill the same space. Practical advice. Trust your uniqueness. You do not need to prove it by staying. Sometimes stepping away is the strongest proof of your value. The heavy silence after conflict, after laughter, or after closeness carries weight. The Stoics saw silence not as emptiness but as power. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It is better to trip with the feet than with the tongue." Your silence after walking away speaks volumes. She feels the lack of your words, your responses, your presence. That heavy silence forces reflection on her actions, her choices, and her treatment of you. Modern example. A simple unanswered text can sometimes feel louder than a long argument. The absence of response communicates a message that no words could carry. Practical advice. Do not rush to break silence with explanations. Let absence and quietness speak for you. True strength is often shown not in saying more but in saying less. Absence as a teacher at its deepest level, your absence becomes her teacher. It teaches her gratitude, respect, and humility. The Stoics believed that nature itself teaches us through loss and change. Seneca said, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." Your absence may awaken her to the reality that relationships are not guaranteed. She learns, perhaps painfully, that presence is not permanent, and that neglect has consequences. Modern example. Many people only appreciate their parents, mentors, or friends after they are gone. It's human nature to overlook blessings until they disappear. The same applies in relationships. Practical advice. Use absence wisely. Don't disappear to punish, but to protect your dignity. Absence should never be about games, but about space for truth to reveal itself. Final reflection. When you walk away, she feels the weight of your absence in many ways, through silence, contrast, regret, and self-reflection. But here is the Stoic truth. Her feelings are not your concern. Your concern is your character. Your concern is living with dignity, strength, and wisdom. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength. You cannot control how she reacts to your absence, but you can control the meaning behind your choice. If you walk away with dignity, you win no matter how she feels. And in that silence, in that absence, the truth always reveals itself. She feels curiosity and confusion. Seneca wrote, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality." When you walk away, her imagination begins to fill the silence. She wonders, why did he stop? Why did he leave? Did I lose his interest? Was I wrong about my value? Confusion breeds curiosity, and curiosity is one of the strongest psychological forces. Practical application. Never chase to explain yourself. Let her curiosity do the work. In your own life, learn to embrace silence instead of rushing to fill it. Many times, silence is more powerful than explanation. Seneca, the great Roman Stoic philosopher, once said, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality." This quote captures the essence of what happens when you walk away. A woman is not hurt just by your absence. It is the imagination of why you left that creates powerful emotional ripples. Her mind begins to fill in the blanks. She wonders, why did he stop chasing me? Did he lose interest, or did he find someone else? Was I not valuable enough? And this curiosity, mixed with confusion, becomes a form of psychological tension. Human beings hate uncertainty. We crave clarity. When someone suddenly withdraws from us, the uncertainty forces us to think, to analyze, and to replay events in our minds. This is exactly why your silence after walking away often has a stronger impact than any words you could say. The psychology behind curiosity and confusion. In psychology, this is called the Zeigarnik effect, the tendency of the human mind to remember and obsess over unfinished situations more than completed ones. When you walk away without drama, without an explanation, and without begging for closure, you create an unfinished story in her mind. She is left with unanswered questions, and because of that, her attention is pulled back to you. This is also why people often obsess over the one that got away. It's not always love. It's curiosity that was never fully resolved. How it shows up in relationships when a man keeps chasing, texting, calling, or explaining himself after a woman loses interest. There's no mystery. Everything is predictable. Everything is clear. But when that man withdraws with confidence and silence, confusion enters the equation. She might begin to ask herself questions like, did I misjudge his feelings for me? Why isn't he acting like other men who keep trying? What does he know about himself that makes him so confident to walk away? And here lies the paradox. By leaving, you often make her think about you more than when you were present. Examples from modern life. Example 1. The social media shift. A man who once liked and commented on every photo suddenly stops. He doesn't unfollow her, he doesn't post anything dramatic, he simply removes his attention. She checks her notifications and realizes his absence. Suddenly she is confused and begins to wonder what changed. Example 2. The workplace crush. Imagine a man in an office who once gave a female coworker constant attention, compliments, conversations, coffee breaks, but one day he stops. He focuses on his work, becomes more reserved, and directs his energy toward his projects. She begins to wonder, did he lose interest in me? Or is he more valuable than I thought since his focus is elsewhere? Example 3. Dating scenarios. A woman goes on a few dates with a man who seems interested. Then when she starts pulling away or showing disinterest instead of chasing, the man calmly steps back. He doesn't complain. He doesn't argue. He simply respects the distance and moves on. Her confusion begins. Why didn't he try harder? Why is he so different from others? Stoic lesson in practice. The Stoic approach here is detachment with dignity. The goal is not to manipulate her feelings or play mind games. The goal is to protect your inner peace, your energy, and your self-respect. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. When you stop chasing and walk away, you are exercising that very strength. You are controlling yourself, not her. The curiosity and confusion she feels are natural consequences of your composure, not the result of manipulation. Practical advice. Don't announce your departure. True strength doesn't explain itself. Simply step back, maintain silence. Let her imagination do the work. The more you explain, the less powerful your absence becomes. Focus on yourself. Redirect the energy you once gave to her into your personal growth. Fitness, career, learning, friendships. This ensures that your absence is not just silence, but transformation. Resist the urge to chase. Confusion only grows in silence. The moment you chase, you remove the mystery. Final reflection. When you walk away, she feels curiosity and confusion. Because you broke the pattern. You showed that your value doesn't come from begging or clinging. It comes from self-control. And in the end, that is the Stoic way. To leave others wondering, not because you seek power over them, but because you have mastered power over yourself. She feels a loss of control. Epictetus said, you may fetter my leg, but my will not even Zeus himself can overpower. In relationships, control often comes from the person who is less attached. When you walk away, you shift the dynamic. The person who once felt in control, by testing, ignoring, or undervaluing you, suddenly realizes that control has slipped away. She may feel powerless because she can no longer predict your actions. Practical application. Detach from the need to control others. Focus only on your actions, not her reactions. In every area of life, remember, you cannot control what others do. You can only control your response. When you walk away, one of the most powerful emotions a woman experiences is a sudden loss of control. This isn't about manipulation, nor is it about a game of power. Instead, it is rooted in human psychology and Stoic philosophy. The truth is, people often feel secure when they know they can predict your behavior. But when you remove yourself with dignity, the script changes, and the one who once felt in control suddenly feels the ground shifting beneath her. The Stoic foundation of control. Epictetus, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, wrote in his Enchiridion, "You may fetter my leg, but my will not even Zeus himself can overpower." This simple yet profound line reminds us that while others can attempt to influence us, true control lies only in our mind, our choices, and our inner discipline. In relationships, control is often subtle. Sometimes it's about emotional games, testing boundaries, withholding affection, or assuming you'll always be there no matter how she behaves. But when you choose to walk away, you prove that your will, like Epictetus described, cannot be chained. She feels this deeply. What was once predictable, your attention, your presence, your effort, is no longer guaranteed. That loss of predictability translates into a loss of control. Psychological dynamics in psychology. This effect is closely tied to uncertainty and scarcity. Predictability. Comfort. When someone knows you will always call, text, or chase, they feel comfortable, even if they don't treat you with equal respect. Uncertainty. Discomfort. When you walk away, uncertainty enters the picture. She doesn't know what you will do anymore. She doesn't know if you'll return, if you'll find someone else, or if you'll ever give her the same energy again. This loss of control can spark fear and anxiety, scarcity, value. When something is always available, it feels ordinary. But once it's scarce, people see its value more clearly. By walking away, you become scarce and therefore more valuable. Historical context. Let's look at Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher. In Meditations, he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Marcus Aurelius ruled the most powerful empire on earth. Yet he acknowledged that he could not truly control the actions or feelings of others, only his own responses. Similarly, in relationships, a woman may feel she has influence or control over you through beauty, charm, or emotional pull. But when you walk away, you embody Marcus's lesson. Your power lies not in her reactions, but in your mastery of self. This shift unsettles her. She realizes that she cannot control your actions as she once believed. Modern life examples. The always available man. Imagine a man who constantly cancels his plans to be with his girlfriend. He responds to every text instantly, rearranges his life for her, and never says no. She knows she has complete control. But when he finally decides to prioritize himself, his career, his health, his purpose, and walks away from being taken for granted, she suddenly feels powerless. The breakup dynamic. A woman ends a relationship thinking he will chase, beg, or try to win her back, but instead he accepts her decision with calmness, wishes her well, and moves forward. Suddenly she feels a loss of control because her expectation of power, his begging or pleading, never happens. The silent walk away in an argument. Many expect escalation, shouting, accusations, drama. But the Stoic man refuses to feed into chaos. He walks away silently, leaving her with nothing to push against. This silence shifts the power dynamic completely, and she feels her influence diminish. Why? This loss of control matters. A woman doesn't lose control because you're trying to dominate her. She loses it because she realizes that you are no longer operating within the frame she set for you. You've broken free of the expectations, the tests, or the games. This is why the walkaway is so powerful. It communicates without words. I am not here to be controlled. I am here as long as there is mutual respect. If not, I will go. Practical Stoic advice. Detach from outcome. Epictetus advised, don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen, and you will go on well. Do not walk away hoping she will chase you. Walk away because it is the right thing for your dignity and peace of mind. If she feels the loss of control, that is her experience, not your concern. Master emotional control. When you walk away, do it without anger, bitterness, or hostility. If you explode, you give her control through your emotions. But if you leave with calm strength, you reclaim full power. Invest in yourself. Instead of obsessing over her reaction, put that energy into your purpose, growth, and health. A man who is rooted in his own mission cannot be controlled by the whims of another. Final reflection. When you walk away, she feels a profound loss of control.
She realizes that her influence over you was never absolute, that your will is stronger than her expectations. This feeling doesn't just shift the balance in your relationship, it elevates you in her eyes.
Because the man who cannot be controlled is the man who commands respect. And this is where Stoicism shines. True strength is not in controlling others, but in being unshaken by what is outside your control. So remember the words of Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. When you live this truth, no one, not even the woman who thought she had you wrapped around her finger, will ever truly control you. She feels respect. Growing Marcus Aurelius said, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Respect is not demanded, it is earned. And often respect comes when you are willing to walk away from disrespect. When you remove yourself from situations that do not honor you, people are forced to look at you differently. Even if she was testing your boundaries, she now respects you more because you showed strength instead of weakness. Practical application. Never compromise your values for short-term approval. Set boundaries, and if someone crosses them repeatedly, walk away. Respect begins with how you respect yourself. She feels regret. Seneca reminds us. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. When you walk away, regret often creeps in. She may regret taking your presence for granted. She may regret not appreciating the small things you did. Regret is one of the most powerful emotions, because it forces people to see what they once ignored. Practical application. Don't walk away with bitterness or revenge in mind. Walk away with peace. Regret will take care of itself. Your job is to remain focused on growth, not on her reaction. She feels attraction. Renewed Epictetus wrote, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Ironically, attraction often returns when you stop chasing it. By walking away, you demonstrate independence, and independence is magnetic. Women, like all human beings, are drawn to strength, and strength is shown through self-sufficiency. When you show that you don't need her to complete you, she may feel drawn back to you. Practical application. Work on your life. Build your body, your mind, your craft. Fill your time with purpose instead of waiting for her. Attraction thrives when a man has his own direction. She feels doubt about her choices. Marcus Aurelius advised, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. When you walk away, she begins to question herself. Did I push away the wrong man? Was he the one I should have held on to? Doubt is powerful because it challenges certainty. If she thought she could always have you, your absence makes her rethink her assumptions. Practical application. Do not argue to prove your worth. Walk away and let time do the convincing. In life, too, avoid explaining yourself to those who are committed to misunderstanding you. She feels the need to chase. Seneca wrote, if a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable. When you walk away, the roles often reverse. The one who is being chased now becomes the pursuer. This happens because human psychology is wired to desire what is scarce, not what is abundant. When you are no longer easily available, your value increases in her eyes. Practical application. Don't play games. Simply live your life with direction and purpose. If she comes back, she comes back. If she doesn't, you are still moving forward. The Stoic man never waits at the shore for a ship that may never return. She feels respect for your strength. Marcus Aurelius declared, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. At the end of it all, what a woman feels most when you walk away with dignity is respect for your strength. Not the loud, aggressive strength of anger, but the quiet, disciplined strength of a man who knows his worth and will not beg for validation. This kind of strength leaves a lasting impression, not just on her, but on everyone around you. Practical application. Train yourself to let go without bitterness. When life takes something from you, whether it's a relationship, an opportunity, or a person, remind yourself, if it was truly mine, it would have stayed. If it is gone, it was never meant for me. Conclusions, my friend. What does a woman feel when you walk away? She feels the weight of your absence. She feels curiosity, confusion, regret, and respect. She feels attraction return, doubts rise, and the need to chase. But most importantly, she feels the undeniable presence of your inner strength. And this is the essence of Stoicism. knowing that your true power does not lie in controlling her emotions, but in controlling your own. Remember the words of Epictetus, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Walking away is not about punishing her. It's about protecting yourself. It's not about revenge, it's about respect. And it's not about weakness, it's about wisdom, so stand tall. Be calm, be unshaken. And if the time comes, walk away with dignity, because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to leave.